Welcome to Main Street Minds with your host, Amish Munshi. This is where industry leaders and seasoned pros share their secrets to success beyond limits. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to Main Street Minds. Today we have a very special guest, Manish, over here with us, all the way from sunny Florida, and he is looking to share some very deep insights into the latest and the best things happening and the most promising thing in the tech world, right? Having your own startup and the most innovative things happening right now with AI. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Manish. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, Amish, thanks for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here.
Hey, thanks. So, the very first thing that I am always interested in knowing is what got you interested in tech?
So, what got me interested in tech? So, of course, I was born in India, and I started off in tech very young. I mean, maybe as a 12-year-old or something. So, I got my first, computer at home when I was 12, 13. Started coding then, and I was always interested in tech since then. And of course, did my education in computer science. I did have a master's degree in computer engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, just continued to work in corporate America in the technology space. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so yes, that's how I started.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So, going ahead, how tell us your journey. How did you get started in as a professional in the industry? What was like the first job, and what was the secrets to the success to reach the level where you are now?
Yeah. So I would say, again, as I said, I started off pretty early and I've always been coding, developing. A lot of the tech guys, if you know, usually they have a gaming background. So I used to do the same thing. I used to be a gamer a long time back. I don't do it anymore, but yes, that's how I started, and that's how I pivoted towards, software engineering and coding as such. So my
Mm-hmm.
first job within corporate America was within health insurance companies. So I started working in health insurance companies, and kind of like being in software, you have to be flexible in terms of what you work on. Because here I was a pure Java developer coming in into health insurance companies, and health insurance companies works on COBOL and DB2 mainframe
Mm-hmm.
technologies. They don't do a lot of Java and other stuff. So yeah, for a period of time, I had to go back in terms of technology, work on COBOL DB2. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of discipline, taught me a lot of patience, because of course,
Mm-hmm.
mainframe technology is not as easy to code as say C++ or Java, which I was good at that point in time. So yeah, so taught me a lot of patience, taught me, the right way in which to build programs and build software, as well as, build for the long term, right? Because some of these within health insurance companies, if you know, some of these technologies, some of this code which has been written have been like 20, 30 years old, and it is still working. Like a
Mm-hmm.
claims adjudication code within large insurance companies like Aetna, UHG, WellPoint are all written more than 25 years old, and the code still
Mm-hmm.
works. And we just continue to enhance it and update it as such. So, when people say that, oh, they throw away the code every 18 months or something, here is code from 30 years back, which is still working and
Yeah.
still running majority of your claims. Even today, if your claims passes through, say, Aetna, Cigna, WellPoint, UHG, still
Yeah.
passes through one of those
Right.
codes.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an amazing way to get started all the way from like the programming language even before I got in the industry. Like I've just heard about these names, but I've they just taught me in college, but I don't think I actually saw that in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
not that lucky.
you usually see it only in health insurance and fintech to some extent. You don't see it anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what's keeping you happy right now. What are some of the things that you are seeing in your business and in your company?
Sure. So I think, yeah, I mean, in terms of the journey as well, from there, I mean, did a lot of corporate related work, large platforms, multi-year, software engagements and things like that with health insurance companies, financial services companies. And beyond that, I went towards the startup world. So I did a
Mm-hmm.
startup within the fintech space, raised funding, ran the company for 18 months, and then sold it to another fintech company. And for the past few years, I've been working with a lot of early stage startup founders in
Mm-hmm.
building their technology platforms or building their MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in the past 2.5 years, majority of those platforms are related to AI or machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing for the past 5 to 6 years. The advantage is I get to build like 5 to 6 different systems every year, which is, sometimes it is in fintech, sometimes it is in healthcare. I've done an HR platform, I've done an event tech platform, right? So all technology, all B2B software, but different industries as such. So I'm industry
Mm-hmm.
agnostic. And in terms of what I'm currently working on, majority of the work is related to building LLM specific to certain industries. So using industry specific data, training the LLM for that particular industry, and then using it for various use cases, whether it is conversational AI for customer service and customer success teams, whether it is error reporting and other things for say insurance companies and fintech professionals, or
Mm-hmm.
whether it is more kind of loan origination and figuring out errors within documentation submitted to loan originators, to law firms, intake of legal documents within law firms. So a lot of the AI being used in terms of auditing, error correction, review of data,
Mm-hmm.
which is coming in into a lot of these industries. So that's what I'm working on mostly.
Nice, nice. Makes sense. So that's a variety of different businesses to work with, right? Like how do you manage to like take care of like so many different industries and verticals?
So my background again, when I was doing technology, even with large corporations, I was working in Accenture as a consultant. A lot of time I spent
Okay.
over there, and even with other companies as consultants. So as a result of that, we had a habit of going into different businesses of different industries, going there, understanding the business quickly, and of course, my expertise was technology. So implementing the technology within the parameters of this industry. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, a lot of my time has been spent in healthcare and financial services. So those two industries I know very well, because I
Mm-hmm.
spent almost like 2 decades in each of those industries. A decade each in each industry. But other industries like HR, event technology, and other things. I mean, the domain knowledge required within the industry may be huge, because we are implementing a technology piece to a very small niche part of it. We just need to understand enough of it as such. And again, as I said, my expertise is technology, so I'm dependent on the founder or whoever is a business owner to give me
Mm-hmm.
the industry knowledge, because I'm bringing in the technology and he or she is bringing in the business knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Cool. So, on a day-to-day basis, like if somebody wants to enter and do something similar that you're doing, what are some of the skill set that they should be learning?
So I would be in today's world, it is basically having the ability to work with large language models. So large language models, again, working with large language models like OpenAI, Anthropic Cloud, they are easy, but I would say more concentrate on open source large language models like Llama 3.5, or now Llama 4 has come.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, or Mistral. So open source models are much more difficult to work with, because then you're installing it on your servers, so you exactly know the weights, the parameters, and what to use within the models, how the answers come out, how to increase the temperature and the weights of the parameters to get the right kind of answers. So it's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit hands-on as compared to using a closed source model like OpenAI or Anthropic. You learn a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So anybody entering new, I would say, yeah, use one of these models, install it on your AWS servers, run it, and that would be a good way to enter into the ecosystem right
Yeah.
now.
Makes sense. Yeah, sounds that is definitely a good starting point. And just curious, like generally, like how long does it take to learn a new AI model? Like, uh,
I mean, in today's world, because of AI itself, it has become much more easier. Like even for me, a lot of the development nowadays. I mean, I have a large technology development team. I have about 25, 28 developers who work with me.
mm-hmm,
But even within that, a lot of their productivity has increased between 30 to 35% in the past 1 year, just
mm-hmm,
because of AI coding, right? I mean, AI
yeah,
coding, there are products out there, very famous products like Cursor and Lovable and Bolt.new and others as such. But even using normal LLMs like Cloud or Gemini Pro and things like that, your coding can really, exponentially increase in speed, right? I mean, what you can
mm-hmm,
complete in like 1 month, now you can complete in like 3 weeks as such, right?
mm-hmm,
So even if somebody wants to learn the language model new, there are AI helps you a lot. So use AI
mm-hmm,
to learn AI as well, in terms of installing it, in terms of working with it, in terms of getting the answers as such. And the other thing you can try to do, or what is really required in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 years, is not only getting answers from static documentation and other things, but connecting your language model to either your company databases or within the data which is available within your company, and to
Mm-hmm.
get intelligent answers from that data as such. So that is a
Mm-hmm.
much more useful skill set in the next, I would say, 18 months, because that is important, because everybody has the ability right now with chatbots and other things, put a PDF document in it, the AI will answer all the questions related to that as such. But dynamic data, which is there in the company, the way to connect to it and to get English language answers from them in terms of asking the data, asking the company data, like, oh, how did I do last year? How did I do
Mm-hmm.
last month? Right? I mean, this is a simple question asking to your internal knowledge base or something. It should have the ability to go through your financial documentation, bring out the number and say, oh, you did well last year, last month,
Yeah.
something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
That is like, connecting with your data. That is language model connecting with your data internally. Hopefully, in your internal systems, you don't want to want your internal data to go outside, but then coming back with a intelligent answer. So I think that is where I'm pushing a lot of my junior developers who are coming in, is to be training them on that, because that will really help them in the next 18 to 24 months in terms of what the industry is looking for.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So, like this, like because you work on like so many different verticals, I think the technology is the common piece that keeps everything glued together and allows you to focus on doing the right thing, right? So, how on like on a day-to-day basis, like what are some of the challenges that you see?
So I think our current challenge is in terms of speed of learning,
Mm-hmm.
because there is so much happening within the AI space. Like there are models and model revisions being released almost on a weekly basis. There is not a
Mm-hmm.
week been. I've been counting it. I mean, I have a small newsletter which I send out, and at least in the past, I would say 52 weeks, at least in last March till now, every week there has been a new model release or a new version of a model release straight for 52 weeks straight. It has not stopped, right? Somebody's
Mm-hmm.
releasing something.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the big guys are not releasing something, the smaller guys are releasing something. So I think our biggest challenge right now is to keeping abreast of that, because we are working on certain projects, which is we have deadlines and timelines, and along with that, there is a lot of information and new technologies, new ways of doing things come out, which is coming out from the industry, which we need to learn and to implement it as well. So I think that
Yeah.
is a little bit, we have to change the model of how we work maybe 2 years back. So now I usually have a person who finishes a project within my team. I usually
Mm-hmm.
give that person a break for a month, because he can come up to speed with whatever is happening within the industry as such.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, I wouldn't have done that like 2 years back. That would not necessary, because what you're coding for a React.js 1 year before was the same thing you're coding in React.js 1 year.
Yeah.
So there's not much change as such. In today's
Yeah.
world, because of these language model changes, because of the new ways of doing things, also new
Mm-hmm.
workflows in which we can work things, like sometimes the design is done by AI, you are doing the back end, sometimes the back end is done by AI, you are doing the front end. So
Mm-hmm.
these permutations and combinations of working, it is important to have a fixed time for people to learn, experiment, pilot on their own, and then get into a real project which is required by the industry or required by your client.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah. So, going forward, like where do you see your company headed? Like, what's the vision?
So currently, as I said, we are a pure engineering team, right? We don't have, again, this might be controversial, but we don't have project managers and BAs within our team at all, right? We depend on the client side to, either give us that, or they are
Yeah.
industry specific enough to give us that. So we are a pure engineering team. We hope to keep it that way as such. One of the things which has started changing in the past 6 months is, other than startups, we have started working with a few corporates in terms of corporate innovation labs who want to experiment with LLMs, who want to experiment with machine learning in certain niche areas, or where their future product launches are going to be to start AI native from there. So we have started working with a few of them. So I see my company in the next, I would say, 3 to 4 years, sort of having two separate paths to it. One part is like, primarily working with the corporate innovation labs for product launches, and, working on bleeding edge technology, working on pilots and POCs with them. And the other part will continue to work with the startup world. So that's what I see happening. Because again, corporates are still a little bit, I mean, especially regulated industries like fintech, insurance, and healthcare are still hesitant about AI. They want to use AI in customer operations and other things, but they don't want to use AI currently within their core operations. Like no healthcare insurance companies using AI within claim
Mm-hmm.
insurance yet. They are afraid of, because that's their money making place, right? So they want to
Yeah.
use it there. So I think that is going to change as more and more pilots and POCs are done. So that is where I see my team also going in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 years, is having two divisions, one for corporates, for this pilots, POCs, bleeding edge technologies, machine learning engineers who are just working on pure optimization, performance of use cases. And then the other will be regular commercial function, business function related, working with startups and creating new startups. So that's how I see the company moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been working with on the same kind of thing for like, I would say, what, 5 plus 3, about 7, 8 years now.
Yes,
So while the industry probably is just catching up with AI in last 2 years, right?
yeah.
Like how does it feel like when you being the leader, like being the innovator and being early in an industry that is now just coming and becoming very big.
Yeah, and again, and that's something which is funny because we were doing machine learning. I mean, that time nobody used to call it AI as such. Everybody used to just call it machine learning in 2017, 2018. At that time, it was very difficult to do. At that time, it was very hard to get servers and implement certain things. And it used to be very expensive to do any experimentation and things like that. And from that time till I think when GPT-3 released in
Mhm.
2022 is when the entire world changed, right? Everything changed and everybody
Yeah.
started getting excited about it. So I feel like, I feel it came late. I mean, the GPT revolution came a little bit late. We were expecting it in 2017, and maybe we were like naive
Okay.
it would happen at that time. But we were like 3 years too early into it as such. But I think it's a good change. It's a good change because now people really understand the importance and where AI can take humanity and where AI can take this entire industry forward, right? Because I think one of the things which was rightly put, like in 2008 to 2014, we had the entire cloud revolution and SaaS and cloud and all coming in, which was basically like, it was making inefficient software more efficient by putting it on the cloud, freeing up server spaces and things like that, right? But beyond that, from 2014 to about 2020, it just stayed over there. It didn't change a lot beyond that as such.
Mm-hmm.
It was stable over there. But now I think where the industry is going is like, it is not only about making software efficient, it is also about making human beings efficient, right? Now, the AI software which is coming up, it increases your productivity as a coder. Like, in our team, I can safely say we have a 30% productivity boost just because of all the AI tools we are using, right?
Yeah.
Pure productivity boost. We didn't add, we didn't retrain our staff or do anything, right? We are just using AI and our productivity is increased. Right? Similarly, it will be there for other jobs, right? Now the BPO operations is going to completely change. All the Filipino-based BPO
Yeah.
teams, India-based BPO teams are going to use more and more of AI. So what work three BPO operators could do, now one can do with AI as such.
Yeah.
And then I think in the other world, it's like, so in today's world, instead of software replacing inefficient software, AI is basically software replacing or increasing the productivity of manual labor. So
Mm-hmm.
it is going to increase with productivity improvement, and of course, eventually it will go towards doing certain functions completely on its own by
Mm-hmm.
AI, and the human beings are just monitoring it. And so human beings are going to become more project managers and manage different
Yeah.
agents who are doing different things within the organization as such.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen like, some people in LinkedIn and Twitter, we hear about, oh, it's going to happen next year. No, it's not going to happen next year. But in 4 years' time, yes, it will happen.
Yeah, makes sense. So, uh, going just kind of, what are some of the other skill sets that you see are very successful in today's world? Like, and not more on like not the technology, but like uh, some mindset or some softer skills. What are some of the important things that you see will make somebody successful in the AI space?
So if you just leave technology out of it, I think the two things which is primarily required in today's world, one is curiosity. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be really, really curious to be successful within today's paradigm of how not only AI, but how businesses operate, right? I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be a successful professional, you want to be a successful business owner or a startup founder, you have to
Mm-hmm.
be extremely, extremely curious.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, it is not going to work out. Second thing, what AI has just accelerated, it was always true, but AI has accelerated is speed of execution.
Mm-hmm.
In today's world, whether you're a business professional working in a corporate environment, whether you're a startup founder, or whether you're just an entrepreneur, business owner,
Mm-hmm.
speed of execution is going to define whether you are going to succeed in this current technology paradigm or you're going to not be a success.
Yeah.
Because speed of execution, and I tell this to a lot of the junior developers who come on board to my team, as well as, when I speak with students or other things, I always tell them, okay, leave all the technology around. Either you will do it or an AI will do it. I'm not worried about technology as much, but for you, the only thing essential for you to understand is execute fast. Make
Mm-hmm.
decisions fast. Don't think that a project needs to take 3 months or 6 months to deliver. The project should just take 1 month to deliver, right? And think
Mm-hmm.
about, think in that execution fast mindset first, and then maybe if there are roadblocks along the way, and if you take more time, that is fine. But you have to think, about completing it fast. Don't let projects drag on, or don't let anything in your business drag on, because if lack of speed is going to be the killer of most businesses and startups in the coming 5 years or such. And again, I always tell startup founders, I work with a lot of startup founders as an advisor mentor. I tell them speed is important. Perfection is not important. Don't
Yeah.
have to be perfect. Don't have to be, all the I's don't have to be dotted, all the T's don't have to be crossed, but you have to be fast. You have to get to that 80% thing as soon as possible, and then push it out there in front of the audience, let the audience review it, give you feedback, and then you keep on correcting things as such.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the thing to be 100% perfect and spend like 9 months doing that before you go in front of an audience, because the audience might just look and say, oh, that's not what we wanted. So you
Yeah.
don't want that answer after 9 months. You would rather have that answer in 2 months. So I
Yeah.
would say curiosity and speed of execution. Those are the two
Mm-hmm.
things which I feel any young professional coming up into
Mm-hmm.
right now, they really need to focus on that.
Yeah, that's a very big secret, right? Saying uh, just being able to demonstrate something, test the market, put it out there and see how it works. Release it as a beta, or just let people know that okay, there may be some glitches around. And I think people have started expecting that as well, saying, "Hey, I want to try this out. Let's see if it works. If it works, then we can give feedback, improve it, customize it the way we want the things to work, and in the long run, it works out in a much better way."
Yeah, I always give an example to people saying that, again, a lot of the people I talk to are usually young professionals. They are just out of college or a few years out of college or such. So I always tell them, like, when Gmail first started, it had beta written on top of it for about 7 years on Gmail
Yeah.
before it removed that sign out of that, right? So
Yeah.
Google, a big company like Google, launched an email application and had beta written on top of it for about 7 long years. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's preventing you? You're like not a big company like Google, you're a startup. So what prevents you from writing beta on a project and sending it out there and seeing how the audience reacts?
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. And apart from all of this, like, what are some of the advice that you can give to like somebody joining the industry? Maybe they are working, they have experience working in something else, but they want to move into tech, or somebody just fresh out of college, starting a new career. What are some of the recommendations that you can give them?
One recommendation I always give new college students or new industry professionals coming into tech is, um, be on Twitter. Twitter is your friend in terms of what is the latest and the greatest happening in AI in
Mm-hmm.
the technology space. So you need to be there. Again, stay away from politics, but be there for tech Twitter, right? I mean, tech Twitter
Yeah.
is very good. All the latest and the greatest things happening anywhere in the world is there over there. That's number one. Second thing is, like, you should have an aim of creating your own projects or creating something for yourself, for your use or your family's use or your neighbor's use or something. Every
Mm-hmm.
3 months, you should have a pilot project which you should put out there to the world, right? It can be a
Mm-hmm.
platform, it can be a mobile app, it can be just a Chrome extension. You build a Chrome
Yeah.
extension to do something for yourself and such.
Mm-hmm.
Create that, use it, put it out there, and say that, oh, I built this. This is out there as such. Because
Yeah.
as the way in which hiring is going to change in the coming few years, most of the hiring is not going to be based on your resume. It is going to be based on what you have done. And what
Mm-hmm.
you've done majority of the time, for what you have done professionally in companies and other things, you may not be able to share so easily. So you would need to share some of your personal projects and what you have done, personally, like that. So that would be my advice, is like, build small hobby projects, personal projects, and push it out there.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. So that's very valuable. So yeah, as apart from that, like in addition to the AI, are you seeing anything else happening that's exciting?
Uh,
Like I was just wondering, like anything like like do you see quantum computing kind of coming in soon, or anything else that you see that might be coming in the next few years?
So yeah, again, I have not done a lot of research on quantum, but I do know a few friends and colleagues who are into it, and they are saying there's a lot of exciting things happening. I have not gone deep into it. I've scratched the surface level of it, and it is exciting as to what even at the surface level it is happening. But I think other than AI, one of the other areas where I would say in the coming years would be really exciting things happening is robotics. Robotics is going to again, robotics again has been there for a long time, but like how what ChatGPT did to AI in 2020, robotics will have its time in the coming couple of years as such. So if there are any college students and others who are interested in going in a particular area, I would say robotics and deep tech
Mm-hmm.
are the two areas which you should focus on right now because it is going to have its moment in the sun very soon. I
Yeah.
don't know when, but I'm assuming in the next 2 to 3 years, there will be an AI ChatGPT moment for robotics as well as for deep tech in the coming future as such. So those two are areas where I've gone deep into it a little bit and I know the things are happening. Quantum, I've heard, but I don't know much about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to comment on that.
Makes sense. Yeah, sounds great. So, as we conclude this episode, any other thoughts or ideas that you would like to share with the audience?
No, I would say that this, I mean, again, I've been in the industry for about 25 years right now. This is my 25th year in the industry. And I would say that purely from somebody who's ambitious and somebody who wants to do something for themselves, this is the best time in the industry. This is like, for somebody who's interested, curious about technology and where it is going. This is a time of like a kid being in a candy store. This is
Mm-hmm.
the absolute best time to build something, build your dreams, build your future on your own and things like that. Or if you want to build a technology product, build it this time, because there is no other time in the past whatever 20 plus years which I can think about which has been as exciting with so many new things coming you can experiment in. Because again, like as I said, 10 years back there would be one React thing which would come in and there would be like 10,000 people who jump on it and build on that, right? Nowadays
Mm-hmm.
almost every week new things are coming in, so all those 10,000 people cannot do all of them together, so you can be an
Yeah,
expert on something very quickly, and in 1 year's time you can be an expert on it and nobody else in the world would be even close to you as such. So that's exciting, and that's
yeah,
happening now, and I don't know how long it will continue, but at least for the next 18 months it is there, so enjoy this time.
yeah. That's very special. So thanks for sharing that. Apart from just work, right? Like, what are some of your hobbies?
In terms of hobbies, I do play in a badminton league over here locally. So we play about 3 days a week. That's something which I do over and beyond that. And over and beyond that, I love traveling. So I have a
Okay.
dream of visiting about 100 countries before I die, and I'm at about 38. So I still have I still have a
Yeah.
long ways to go.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great place to be. So, like, what's one of the most favorite places you've visited till now?
So of the places I've visited, I would say Patagonia in the border of Chile and Argentina. That's one of the most beautiful places which I've seen. Other than that, it would be Australia. So I think those are the two places which I really
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, definitely on top of the list. So yeah, in addition to going to the new countries, hopefully you get to go back and enjoy some of the existing ones as well.
Sure.
Yeah, sounds great. So thanks for taking your time on a Friday and sharing your valuable insights and experience with all of us today.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for inviting me here, Amish, and it was really nice chatting with you.
Yeah, same here. Thanks.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Main Street Minds. Want to share your journey with our audience? Head over to mainstreetmindspodcast.com/guest to apply.